Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am King Pig, and here I'm about to debate 20 very angry birds. My first claim is Rovio deleting the original games was not bad. Oh, hi there, Bomb. So, what are you gonna debate about? I mean, my man, did they tell you about how this format works? Okay, I'm sorry. Look, my claim is that Rovio deleting the original games was not bad. I mean, there's nothing to be debated here, honestly. Look, my man, I guess, understand it from a company standpoint, maybe it was, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it isn't, you can't understand this decision from, a money-making standpoint, right? Because, those games were still making money, and them pulling the plug on them practically made it worse. I mean, they lost, half a decade of benefit, my man. I mean, half a decade of benefit, my ass. Look, Rovio said that they removed them for testing purposes. And my man, can I ask you a question? What exactly were they testing? Look, they were testing stuff, alright? And, I mean, they have made up for it, right? No, okay, first of all, now, let's go one by one, alright? Alright, no problem by my part. So, firstly, they were testing anything, alright? They said that it was, quote unquote, it was for testing purposes. Then they said that it was not affordable. But, I mean, they were making money more off those games than their new games, and they wanted to prioritize their new games, which were making less money. So, I don't know what they were thinking. Honestly, how could you defend this, my man? And secondly, they did not redeem themselves. They haven't even made up for their mistakes. Oh, come on now, they released some cool stuff in Angry Birds Reloaded. You can't say no to that. My man, that's absolutely nothing. That does not make up for all the games they deleted. I mean, sure, they brought back, Seasons and Classic, and I guess, Reload is technically a remix of Classic, but, it's not the original thing, man. The physics are the same, and don't even remind me about Rovio Classic's Angry Birds. That thing was terrible, my man. I'm really sorry, but, you cannot excuse it. Come on, now. You know what they did back there? What they did was they basically said, alright, we apologize for all the bullshit we caused, and they just brought back the first game with jankier physics, and then what they did was basically pull the plug on it a year later. My man, that's not acceptable. I'm really sorry, but that's definitely not acceptable. You can come out here and claim much better stuff that you might even win a debate, but you cannot defend this, my man. I'm really sorry, but you genuinely cannot defend this. Look, first of all, the redemption, they did redeem themselves, alright? You're just lying. Firstly, the Reloaded stuff was pretty cool, and I think it made up for all the games deleted, alright? Hold on, my man, give me a second. So they deleted, how many games again? At least 7 games, right? And they only brought back 2, and arguably in a worse state. So, I don't see how that makes up for it. I mean, ignoring the fact that they stopped updating those games, which they should have, by the way. Those games still have a cult-like following, and they practically killed us. So, yeah. How is that exactly redeemable again? They were so bad to the point where they went bankrupt and, Sega had to save their ass. No, that's not true. The reason Sega bought Rovio was because... Okay, it was because of creative liberties, let's just say, Sonic and Angry Birds were similar and stuff like that, and they thought, working together would be great for Sonic Club, and that's why Sega bought Rovio, and that's why Rovio agreed to it. But man, do you have any idea why companies purchase other companies? Why? They don't do it so they can, have a collab or something, many people just have collabs regularly, they don't buy that IP or anything like that. They don't buy that IP so that they can just have collabs with them. Hold on a second, do you know what a collab means, my man? Well, I do, obviously. Collab means something. No, my man, collab is literally shorthand for collaboration, man. It's collaboration. It's like two different parties doing something, right? That's what collab is. It means collaboration, my man. Alright, fine, I get it, but what are you trying to get at? So basically, my man, Sega didn't buy Rovio because they wanted to just make cool crossovers with us. They actually bought Rovio because, well, Rovio was in a bad state and they were probably gonna go bankrupt. And, many companies went out and, tried to buy Rovio and stuff, and Sega was one of those, and Sega was the highest bidder, so they got the company. So yeah, Sega bought Rovio because Rovio was in bad shape, was in desperate need of money, and they just used that opportunity to snatch the Angry Birds IP, man. That's about it. Well, actually, hold on. Let's slow down a bit, shall we? Now, blaming Rovio for everything it's not a great look now, is it? Oh man, what do you mean it's not a great look? It's literally entirely their fault. I mean, let's be honest, Sega does play a role in this. I'm sorry, how does Sega play a role in Rovio's downfall, man? They weren't like in the company or anything. I mean, they bought the company and they just ruined it. My man, are you like schizophrenic or something? Like, are you living in a parallel reality where like Sega controlled Rovio? I mean, look. Doesn't it make sense? Like, hear me out. I know this sounds very, very crazy, but hear me out. So, Sega goes in Rovio with agents, and they intentionally ruin the company so that they can buy the company. I know, I am a genius. Oh, hold on, my man. So, first of all, Rovio's downfall, when it comes to Rovio's downfall, if there's something we gotta be honest about, is the fact that it was completely on Rovio themselves. Like, they had bad management, they did not, do good at all. They made several reckless decisions and several suicidal decisions that, ruined the company. And Sega had no part in it, my man. Sega was not like, they didn't own Rovio back then. All Sega did was pretty much save Rovio's ass. Like, the corporation, like, they bought the corporation so they could save the company and salvage the Angry Birds IP. That's like the entire premise, man. Like, Sega plays no role in this. I don't know what you're thinking, but Sega plays absolutely no role in this, my man. I mean, to be honest, I do also have some fair share of criticisms towards Sega. I mean, they did absolutely nothing thus far, but, like, that's not the point right now. The point is that Rovio is definitely accountable for their own downfall and the downfall of Angry Birds, and no one else is. It's just Rovio, man. You cannot deflect this anywhere else. And I think you should be pissed at Rovio too, my man. Oh, yeah? Why is that? Well, let's think about this for a moment, alright? So, yeah, I think you should get pissed at Rovio because they literally buried Bad Piggies 2. They intentionally made it worse, and they canceled it. That was like Angry Birds 7, Grace, and they just completely buried it. Oh, yeah? How so? They did not bury Bad Piggies 2. No such thing happened. It was just unaffordable, let's just say. Unaffordable? My man, like, they are more than capable of constructing a good game, man. Let's be honest. They do have that team, they just didn't want to do it because they were like, they were like, that degenerate. I'm sorry, but, like, they weren't after making a good game, man. Like, you all, everybody here knows, like, and even the people recording this video right now know the fact that they intentionally rigged the pool where they were choosing the art style, even though most people choose the tunes or the classic style, man. No one voted for the movie style. And I mean, no one, then they rigged the vote and they chose the movie style. And the movie style did not win. Basically, they made a dickhead decision. They ruined the game, and the gameplay wasn't good anyway, so they ruined both the art style, the visual aesthetic of the game, and they both ruined the game itself by adding in some bullshit stuff from Angry Birds 2, like, you need to watch in order to play, and that's just kind of disgusting, man. Like, if there's a way you could ruin Bad Piggies 2, that was the best way, and they took that best route to ruin that game. I'm sorry, my man. I mean, I could never imagine someone trying to kill Bad Piggies 2, like, it was just incomprehensible. But, sure enough, Rovio did so. Now, how are you gonna exactly defend that, my man? As a Rovio fan, like, what are you gonna do about this? Now, first of all, let's clear up some stuff. Alright, maybe that rigging the vote thing wasn't very nice, but the gameplay was a complete shit now. I mean, you made a video about it and everything, right? Come on now, like, give an answer, god damn it. Hey, my man, by the way, you're supposed to debate me. Oh, right, sorry. But the gameplay wasn't complete trash. I mean, like, listen to me. Right, maybe, like, you had lives that you need to watch ads in order to play, but, like, that's not a bad thing. Ah, man, limiting your player's time to play and forcing them to buy microtransactions in order to skip ads It's not a good idea to make a fun and entertaining game. I'm really sorry, but like, and if you're gonna do that for Bad Piggies of Old Games, which is like a sandbox game, it's not a sandbox game. I mean, it's a game where you just have mad fun, right? It's not like something like you play daily or something like that. I mean, the original Angry Birds formula isn't made for that anyway, and they still butchered it in Angry Birds 2 by adding in lives, but that's besides the point. So basically, you cannot have that. That's a very bad idea, and the physics were a little janky, and the game was not fun, and the levels weren't even half as good as the original. I mean, I'm not even talking about the art style, which we already talked about. It was like pretty terrible. Like, how exactly are you gonna defend this? It's not defendable. Every decision Rovio has done so far, my man, is either burying the franchise or killing it in its entirety. Like, there's nothing good they have done. And, like, normally you would see a company trying to do their absolute best in order to, stay afloat and make money, but, like, they apparently aren't doing that either, so. I mean, I don't know what to say, my man. Well, look, companies have weird ways of operating, right? Maybe on the surface, to a man like you, or to a man like me who doesn't know all the corporate structures and stuff, might seem on the surface to be unprofitable and like stupid, but like I trust Rovio, right? I trust in their capabilities of producing great work. And I think like they've done a good job. Like, come on now, let's be honest, like those comics they release here and there. Oh man, that's not gameplay, and that's certainly not reviving Angry Birds. I mean, look at all the new characters they added. My man, like adding in 3 new characters out of nowhere is not a good idea. No offense, but like it's not your fault, but like it's not a good idea. Okay, look, I think you're still wrong, but I respect your perspective. Blah blah blah. Next opponent, please. I want to debate someone else on this topic. Alright, continuing off this debate, I want to discuss something real quick. If there are any nerds or intelligent people out here, I think that Rovio's decisions were completely understandable from a money-making standpoint, solely going off money. Now, does anyone want to debate me on this? Any so-called economists out there? Alright, my man. Hello, mate. So, about what you talked about earlier, I just want to say something, mate. It's not understandable from a money-making standpoint either. Bomb is right. Bomb is right? Wait. What is your evidence to prove that Bomb is quote-unquote right? Look, my man. Look, mate. The point is that, companies usually try to make money. But when facing crisis, I guess they might make decisions that might seem illogical. But in this case, mate, I don't think it's like something like you can understand because like it doesn't make any sense. Like from statistics standpoint, it just makes 0 sense. And I don't think I've seen enough Angry Birds fans talk about this. Oh yeah? Why so? Look, mate, listen up. Each game at least had 500 million downloads, alright? And deleting at least 7 games with at least 500 million downloads, all which had microtransactions, is not a good idea from a money-making standpoint. And they've been deleted, they've been not public in the App Store for like 5 or 6 years, mate. Actually, it's about to be 7 years. We're in 2026. It's about to be 7 years, mate. It's not justifiable. Like, mate, do you genuinely believe that they would have made less money if they kept those games, on the App Store? They would have surely profited from, the microtransactions coming in here and there. To at least keep the company afloat. I mean, if they had did that, they would probably not have to be purchased by Rovio. I mean, mate, I think these were terrible decisions. And I don't think you can justify it from a money-making standpoint either. I mean, the games they deleted are simply legendary, mate. Like, they made a lot of money out of that, mate, and I don't think you can exactly, you cannot exactly say that they were not profitable. Their iconography is profitable in and of itself. Look, first of all, I understand definitely iconography, or whatever that means, nostalgia, plays a big part in it. I definitely understand that, and you might be right, but I don't agree on the fact that they might be profitable. Rovio cannot profit from those games, alright? Those games are just too old. Mate, a game being old doesn't make it unprofitable. Oh yeah, how so? Mate, for example, World of Warcraft, it's years old and I'm pretty sure Blizzard's still making money off of it. Another example, please? League of Legends is very old. They're still making money off of it. Alright, those are like multiplayer games, alright? Like Fortnite, League of Legends, I don't know, Valorant, I don't know, Apex Legends. Those games are like multiplayer shooter games, or they're like multiplayer games, alright? Give me an example of a mobile game that's old, that's still profitable. Alright, let's see. Cut the Rope, Subway Surfers, Temple Run, Fruit Ninja. You don't see any of these companies deleting these games. I mean, like, my man. I mean, like, look, it's pretty unreasonable to assume that, they're not profitable, because they are profitable. In fact, Angry Birds is probably more profitable than any of these mentioned. And the most Rovio did to bring attention to Angry Birds was by removing Angry Birds, which is ironic. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure the videos about the downfall of Angry Birds might make more money than, Rovio made money in its entirety since, they deleted the original games, and that's simply facts. Okay, you're over-exaggerating a little bit. Those videos weren't that popular, alright? Mike, they were that popular. Like, everybody was not talking about Angry Birds, but they were talking about how Angry Birds was deleted. Well, they were still talking about Angry Birds now, weren't they? It is still Angry Birds. Look, the gist of it is that measures had to be taken. They were not profitable. As simple as that. Look, mate, removing a game that's profitable because it's unprofitable doesn't make sense. It's literally illogical. It's contradictory. I think the reason they wanted to delete the games, in my opinion, has nothing to do with its profit. Like, it has nothing to do with how profitable it is. I think, mate, the reason they removed the original games is because they wanted to bury the original Angry Birds IP, the classic one that everybody loved, and wanted to swap it out with the cheap movie one that no one liked, mate. And I'm pretty sure there's still people out there that don't like the Angry Birds movie. Mate, it was not a good movie. It was not a profitable movie. Actually, it was profitable, but the second one wasn't. It was not a movie on a scale which they could have rebranded the entire franchise, mate. Like, you cannot change these iconic designs. Like, you can polish them, like how Toons did, but you cannot change them out with stuff like the movie. It's just not good designs, man. I'm sorry. Like, you can go out and ask any designer. Switching the designs between classic and movie, it's too radical. Like, it diminishes the iconography of these characters. Like, these characters are more recognizable as their classic forms than they are their movie forms. And let's be honest, the movie designs of the Angry Birds aren't very iconic. In fact, I think barely anyone knows about them because the movie wasn't half as successful as the games. You know what movies usually do, mate? Oh yeah, what do they do? In terms of profit, they are designed to boost the profit of the games. Oh yeah, how so? By, allowing the game to reach wider audiences. But here's the thing, mate. Here's something that you will never guess. Oh yeah, what is it? Angry Birds had already reached a wide popularity. Everyone knew about Angry Birds in the early 2010s. Everybody talked about it. Angry Birds was at the top, mate. So I don't think it makes any sense of them to make a movie to make it more widespread, even though it was already very widespread, very accessible. It had excellent iconography. And it was recognizable anyway, mate. I don't think the making a movie and making it, even bigger made any sense. Like, what made sense, however, even if you're going to make a movie, is to make it still profitable. And the Angry Birds movie ruined the Angry Birds series. Like, let's be honest, it was not profitable in the long run. Adopting the movie designs and just making the entire franchise revolve around the movie just didn't make sense. Everybody was familiar with the original Angry Birds. Not everybody was familiar with the Angry Birds movie, mate, and that's just a given fact. That's just fact, mate. Like, you have to accept it. Look, I understand this hollow nostalgia of yours. Mate, this is not nostalgia, this is just facts. There are stuff about original Angry Birds I do not like as well. Like some of the birds sometimes being useless. No offense to anybody. But it's just that the movie didn't do anything good. Like, sure, you can say that it brought in some new characters or whatnot, but that's about it. That's about it? Really, the movie did great stuff, alright? It made great stuff. It brought in a lot of money. Mate, the original Angry Birds brought in way more money than the movie. In fact, they spent more money on marketing the movie than they actually did on making it. Like, that goes to show how unpopular it was. I mean, changing the designs on it in and of itself is a terrible idea. I mean, you cannot recognize it. I'm pretty sure when people first saw that movie, it was like, wait, mate, what are these designs? Like, is this even Angry Birds? Which is a reasonable reaction, mate. You cannot disagree with that. I mean,
Compare my design to the movie design.
I understand the hollow nostalgia.
Mate, this is not hollow nostalgia. This is just simple facts. If people cannot recognize... Look, mate, it's not hollow nostalgia. If people cannot recognize their beloved characters, then that means those redesigns aren't good and aren't gonna be profitable. That's just fact.
Enough with your bullshit facts. I'm done with this.
Alright, then I win the debate.
No, I'm not giving up. I'm just tired of listening to your annoying nerd talk. Yeah. Okay, switch him out.
It was nice debating with you, Kingpig. Not really.
Alright, now let's transition from that. I think that the Angry Birds movies were great for the Angry Birds franchise, and I think Rovio adopting the designs was a great idea. Now, who wants to challenge me?
Alright, let's deal with this.
Hello, Chuck. So why do you think that it was not a good idea to adopt the movie designs, and why do you think that the Angry Birds movies were not such a great idea?
Alright, well, there are multiple reasons, but basically, the gist of it is that the Angry Birds movies killed the Angry Birds franchise. They were not recognizable in any way, shape, or form, just like how Hal mentioned, and it was just definitely not a good idea to replace recognizable designs with not recognizable designs. It's just a simple, bad decision. I mean, even a stupid guy like myself can understand it, but I guess you are a different level of stupid to understand that.
I am not stupid, I just have my priorities straight. Rovio, give me some money, please, 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 I need it, my kingdom is going bankrupt. I'm defending your asses here, please just give me some money. Now, regardless, look, I definitely understand the concerns, but, I mean, the movie designs are just better.
Kingpig, have you even seen my movie design? Kingpig, hold on a second. You think that the movie designs are better, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Kingpig, your movie design doesn't even exist. If it did, then you would be very pissed.
Oh, yeah, I would be very pissed. I would not be very pissed. I would be very happy. In fact, I'm pissed that I didn't get one.
Look, Kingpig, it's not like that good. Like, let's all be honest here, Kingpig. Like, have you even seen my design?
Yeah, I think it's much more handsome.
No, it isn't. Kingpig, I look like a banana. Oh my god, it took you some while to admit that, huh? Look, Kingpig, look, you gotta understand this real quick, but like, here's the thing. The designs are a downgrade, and I think it definitely contributed to the fact that, you know, Angry Birds was just getting less popular. I'm sorry, a little miss there. Basically, Angry Birds was going on, it was going downhill, and the movie designs just added more fuel to the fire, basically. I mean, you gotta be really stupid not to understand that.
Look, no, it's not true. Look, you gotta understand that, you know, some redesigns were necessary. I mean, these are like, at that point, they were old designs, right? They were 7 years old. They were very old designs.
Look, Kingpig, they did already update the designs, though, back in 2015 with the Toons designs. And that was not a wild departure, except Hal. But, like, it was a good redesign, and I think modifications sometimes might be necessary. They still didn't drift too much away up until, you know, the movie designs from our original classic designs. They still kept us. But the movie designs did a complete 180. And I think that's why it doesn't really click with many of the fans. In fact, that's exactly the reason why it doesn't click with me. The best that the movie designs have ever looked is ironically Lego minifigures, which tells you a lot. Look, Kingpig, I know this might sound offensive, but like, I think you're being a little biased here. Like, let's all be brutally honest here. You are being biased. I mean, it's pretty clear that you're being funded by Rovio.
Alright, that's a claim that I cannot accept. I just can't. I'm not being funded by Rovio, I'm just a big fan of them.
Look, Kingpig, we're also big fans of Angry Birds, but I'm not really a big fan of Rovio as a corporation. I mean, they've done some pretty, shit things. And they pretty much ruined everything we loved about Angry Birds. I mean, is there something that they left that was good about Angry Birds? Besides Bad Piggies, maybe? Even then, they tried to ruin that with Bad Piggies too. Oh my god, I don't want to even think about it. Hey, hold on a second. I really want to know. Like, when people are going on the App Store and they're, like, searching Angry Birds and stuff, they see Angry Birds too, but there's, like, no original Angry Birds, and everyone's like, huh. Wait, where is the first Angry Birds? I mean, is that stupid? I mean, like, am I not right about this? Like, if Rovio was consistent, they would at least say, you know what, we have a game called Angry Birds 2, so we might as well, you know, put the first game at least in there so people can understand, oh, this is the first one, this is the second one. Oh, this does not make any sense, but screw this. And by the way, King Pig, the movies definitely weren't good for the franchise. They are what buried it, and they're trying to revive them by making a third one. They're trying to revive the entire franchise by making a third one. You know, betting on a horse that has failed you multiple times is not a good idea. You know, don't get your hopes up too much, everybody. Just saying it outright.
Yeah, I agree, people. CJ speaking here. I don't want to be a pessimist. I want to make that clear. I don't want to be a pessimist, but I don't think it's a good idea betting, hoping to get something out of something that has disappointed us multiple times and that has, put us in a situation that we are in today. That's my opinion. We'll see how movie 3 will turn out, but from what I can see, it's not a space movie, so I don't think it will bring in anyone. And I think Rovio at this point is completely out of touch with their audience. That's my opinion, though. Just saying. I guess we as a fans are, we just kind of have to keep this franchise alive until something big happens, which I don't think that will be the third movie. I mean, if the third movie brings in a lot of fans, that would be great, but what will they do after that? That's what I care about. So we'll just have to see.
Well, maybe this time it will be different. How do you know? How do you know for sure that it's going to disappoint us this time? Maybe they're just going to do a great movie.
Well, King Pig, normally, if we had barely any information, and when we had barely any information, I would agree with you. Everybody was pretty much hoping for a space movie, but from the looks of things, it's not gonna be great.
Oh yeah, how so?
Look, basically, it's all but confirmed at this point that they're not making a space-themed movie, and apparently Red and Silver have a child. Oh my god, can I go puke for a moment? Yucky. Oh, Tony, when I found out about it, I was so depressed. I mean, let's be honest, this is some alternate universe level fanfiction. Look, it literally makes no sense. Red and Silver being together doesn't make any sense at all. Ignore that fact. In the last movie, they did Silver dirty, and everybody hated the last movie, so they should have acted like that movie never existed. I mean, look, any good movie that is a sequel to a bad movie that has a original first movie shouldn't do that in a trilogy. They should act like the second movie doesn't exist altogether.
But the second Angry Birds movie was good.
Look, King Pig, you might think it's a good movie, which it might be, from a rating standpoint or blah, 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 a good kids movie, but it's definitely not a good Angry Birds movie. People did not like it, and the characters definitely did not work. Look, I'm looking forward to seeing Courtney and Gary since they were fun and quirky, but I'm definitely not looking forward to see that Silver. I'm really sorry. Look, the design is cool, by the way. I'm gonna be the first one to admit, the design's actually very good. But it's not Silver, I'm sorry, it's just not. They could have had it been someone else, but no, they just completely ruined Silver. And let's be honest, Zeta is a very mid antagonist. She has a cool design and all, but she's a disappointment. You cannot deny this. I'm really sorry, but you genuinely cannot deny this. Gerard the Redbird pretty much took Zeta and made her infinitely better by making the Empress. If a fan can write a better character than a whole movie staff, then I have no idea what's going on at Rovio or at Sony or at the film production. Look, the gist of it is it's not a good idea. To bring back characters from a movie that just didn't work. I mean, the fans aren't looking forward to seeing them back anyway. Is it even a good idea to bring them back? Let alone influence the story? I mean, I guess you can have a few cameos, sure. But them playing a major role such as Red and Silver child, oh my god, I want to puke again. Oh my goodness gracious, please no one mention Red and Silver's child again, for the love of God.
But you were the one who mentioned it.
Alright, fair point. But yeah, it's definitely not a good idea. So yeah, this third movie won't be of any good. I'm sorry. It will most likely be a cash grab, as much as I don't want to say it. Look, I don't want to, make people feel hopeless, but it's just kind of the situation we're in. I'm really sorry. Terribly sorry, but yeah.
Alright, I've had enough with this. Does anyone else wanna, debate me? Oh, by the way, before I go. Alright, you know what? I want to debate this with someone else, actually.
Alright, fine.
My final claim is, I think that Red and Silver having a child is a phenomenal idea.
Dynamite, hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ, King Pig. Alright, I think it should be me who should debate you on this.
Oh yeah, the angry Redbird. A loser like you would never have a child. They gave you a child. I think that's a pretty good thing they did. Like, you should be thanking them instead of getting mad.
First of all, I have a girlfriend. And they made her my sister so that they would not ship us. And they went on shipping me with Silver.
Look, I understand the concerns, but I think you two make for a very cute couple, I mean.
Look, we make for a pretty good duo, alright? But not a couple.
Yeah, those are different things.
Like, they dumbed me down and made Silver the frickin' leader. I'm supposed to be the smart leader.
Oh yeah, you don't look very smart to me. I think them dumbing you down, quote unquote, doesn't exist because you're already pretty goddamn dumb.
Look, I don't want this debate to get very heated or anything like that, but like, Kingpin, this just isn't a good way to introduce, us to a new generation of audiences. Like, this is the third movie, for the love of God. But it's been years since the second one, and by the point where this movie comes out, it will be like 8 years since, like, the freaking second movie. And a whole new generation of kids will be introduced to me, thinking that I am Silver's husband. Don't you see how bollocks that is?
It doesn't seem very bollocks to me.
Oh my god, who am I even talking to? Like, would you like it if they say, quote unquote, if they made it so that, I don't know, you were married to Corporal Pig? Would that be good for you? For your image.
Married to Corporal Pig? Ew. I don't even like Corporal Pig. But it's different, like your genders are different.
Say, I don't know, Courtney. I think that's a pretty good example.
No, you're disgusting.
Were you crazy enough to say that? I don't know, it's like shipping Matilda and Terrace for the love. Oh, wait, they did that, right? And they had a child and everything. Oh my god.
I think they're a pretty cute couple. Like, Ravio knows making great couples, right?
They used to, not as of now. Oh, by the way, you know that Bomb is Matilda's girlfriend, right? Yeah, Bomb would freaking destroy you.
My man, I get it, we had a debate, but after this, you were absolutely cooked.
Alright, not very reassuring, but regardless. I mean, like, to be honest, like, the characterizations have gotten better over time.
Kingpin, people have been relying on fan characterizations for, like, so long because Rovio just couldn't establish proper characterizations. Like, the people here are literally, interpretations, fan interpretations, if you will. Because Rovio couldn't bother giving us proper interpretations.
I mean, come on now. Like, Tony being like a girl is a great interpretation, in my opinion.
Oh my god. I just want to cry at this point.
Haha, loser.
Alright, if anyone else wants to debate him, they might as well do so because I have lost the energy and the will to debate him.
Does anyone else want to, debate me? I see no. I see none. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? I win. If you want to see more videos on Jubilee, CJ11, subscribe.